Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Romica Spiegl-Jones. I'm an illustrator and designer based in Manchester. And again, despite a very busy schedule, I try to give you an insight into my life, especially now that I'm preparing to go to Bologna Children's Book Fair on Sunday. And this video is a little insight into my weekend in Paris, where I went to a business conference for young professionals called Cranes Club, where I also became a director. On the day I decided to support the team because I really believe in Cranes Club and supporting other young professionals. And this will be a bit of a mix, so you will see little insights into Paris, what I liked, what I bought, visiting the Little Prince shop, one of my small dreams that I wanted to do. And I will also unbox, it's not a box, unwrap, I don't know, it doesn't sound as cool, doesn't it? Unbox wrap this order that I received, and this is my promotional material. I have a feeling it might only be partially my order. I think the rest will arrive today, it's Monday. And yeah, this was really hard work. I stayed up quite late to still finish the deadline for sending this off, getting it printed. So these are postcards, and it should be business cards as well. Actually, I want to prepare other things too, like stickers, and make little packs for publishers for them to keep. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know if you will see that in this video, you probably see that in the next video, but I will just give a little insight into Paris and what I've learned and what I think now about how I can react to seeing people who are much better than me or much further than me in their journey as a creative professional. So if you're a creative professional, if you're an illustrator, if you like Paris, if you like The Little Prince, this video is for you. So I really enjoyed Paris. It was only a day that we had, one full day to go sightseeing. A little tip: if you have never been to Paris and you want to go, bring a passport picture, which you can then use to buy a Navigo card, and it's like an Oyster card for London, I think. We went to the Notre-Dame. We didn't go inside, I just wanted to get an overview of what's even there, and I wanted to come again. So Notre-Dame was very beautiful. I was actually very moved by the carvings outside. I think it got cleaned because all the images I had of Notre-Dame were being almost black. I guess it's sandstone, I assume, and yeah, it's nice that it looks really fresh, but it has so much history. I was very touched by this, even just from the outside. Then we walked into the Latin Quarter, and this was a recommendation by my mother. She was an au pair when she was young in Paris. It's full of cute little shops. Yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And there is a place that I also highly recommend. It's a really nice place to eat crepes. And next we went to Montmartre, Sacré-Cœur. So Sacré-Cœur is, I can't describe to you how moved I was in this church, which is so interesting. I didn't expect any like deep emotional or spiritual experience sightseeing. And we went up, this was towards the end of our day, before we had to go to the dinner for the business conference. And we went in there, and suddenly especially I think Paris, it's very busy, there are a lot of tourists, and you're constantly surrounded by noise and people. And when you go into this church, of course there are still people, but it is so much more peaceful. And I have a tradition of always lighting like a little candle for my grandparents out of gratitude and to remember them. And yeah, I don't know how I started and why. I have a Christian background. My both grandparents from both sides, Swiss and Austrian, were Catholic, very strong Catholics, especially the Swiss side. And my grandma actually wanted to become a nun. Fortunately, she didn't, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. And yeah, I definitely have a very strong Christian connection. Although I'm a unificationist, I still think it's very linked. But anyway, so I was so surprised how deeply I could feel my grandparents, and how I actually cried. Like the whole experience of the church, just walking around. We didn't see much, but we're just walking around the Sunday service. It wasn't a Sunday service, Friday service, a mass anyway. And it was really moving. And I wish we could have stayed a little bit longer, but we had to go. and I would like to come again and experience this. But yeah, it's a very beautiful place, and I highly recommend Notre-Dame, I highly recommend Sacré-Cœur, and I highly recommend the Latin Quarter. And that's all I saw. I didn't see the Eiffel Tower, I didn't see the Arc de Triomphe, I didn't see Champs-Élysées. But you know, these were my priorities, and this was all very close as well. And I'll definitely come back to Paris. About the business conference, Cranes Club, I was asked to speak, like I said in my previous video, and in the morning, another entrepreneur, very successful, Jonathan Jesper, he talked about his Amazon business, and it was really wonderful to see how successful he became and also to see his path. So for me, the best thing about this conference was to hear people's stories. So hearing his story and how he started really from, you know, started to read certain books and how it all developed into changing his mindset and the setbacks that he had. And it's just nice to see that you see someone is successful but you don't see their path. And I do think that behind every successful person there is a path of unsuccessful attempts. So and mentors and people who helped you to overcome these things or helped you change your mindset. So I do think I had to reflect about how do I feel about success, because what can you do when you see someone who's more successful than you? And I think we would obviously compare ourselves, and I think that's natural, that's fine, because of course it can even be good. But of course either you can start to become envious, and then I could say, put him down and say, oh, but it's not really, no, not him specifically, but a person could put the other person down and say, oh, but this person is not really successful actually, so lower them so you feel like you're closer to their level, which is a very sad thing, which happens sometimes, right? I think we do that sometimes. But what we also can do, of course, we can compare ourselves and think, how can I achieve this or more, right? And I more and more try to think, if I see someone who is successful, I want to learn from them, you know. It's not about it's not my competition or anything. It's actually it's a friend in this journey of living to our full potential. So it was very inspiring. I really enjoyed it. But also I got very nervous because I felt my talk was trying to touch on the same points and I was later, and I started to lose confidence. Like crazy. Yeah, basically I was scared and oh my gosh, and suddenly I was like, oh no, you already said all the important things, I have nothing to say anymore. But then I went, and my session was really well attended actually, about how I overcame my fear and how I followed my passion. And I realized, what do I really want to say? And I basically decided, based on who I saw there and knowing a little bit about that background from a previous sharing session, trying to focus purely on how I made it into university and actually into 3 different art schools with very limited amount of people that they took. Basically I shared my story and how I decided to first of all start my creative career and how I overcame all the adversity, not having any formal art education and competing with people who had more than 5 years of, sometimes 5 years minimum formal art education. And yeah, that I thought I couldn't compete with. I will share this another time. But people really enjoyed it, they told me. And of course you can't, please everyone, but overall the feedback was very positive and I was happy, and I really felt deeply, it seems, and someone else came to me, spoke with me, and I felt, I do really feel for you, and I want other people to be successful, and everything I can share, I want to share. That's also why I started this YouTube channel, like I said, ages ago, and I want to just repeat myself. One of the reasons why I do YouTube is I want to share my journey, because I feel it's so amazing and helpful to see other people that just a little bit further than you, so it still feels like you can achieve it, and to learn from them. So yeah, I was happy about the session, and then on the next day there was the annual general meeting, AGM, yeah, and new directors were voted, and there was a lack of women, and also there was a lack of, well, in the beginning at least, I wasn't sure, people were not so sure who wants to become a director for a year, And I was nominated and I said no initially because I thought, oh, it's too much for me now. You know, if you watch this channel, you know I'm extremely busy, and if you know me personally, you know that this is not even everything that you can see. There's so much more behind it, behind the scenes. But suddenly I've had this very strong feeling in Pole that I'm making excuses again, and it's not really true that because in 2 months I will most likely, hopefully, graduate, and then I have a completely open canvas. And of course I want to invest into my business, but there's only a commitment of 1 hour per month, about around that. I know it will always be more, you know, I always expect more work. But I was so inspired by people's stories and about the power of testimonies, you know, of people's life stories and of connections that you can make. And I felt like I want to be part of this, and I really felt this so deeply that I need to do this now. And although I said no, I basically raised my hand again and said that I'm reconsidering, and then I actually said I want to do it. And yeah, in the end I became a director of 1 of 5, but afterwards I was like, oh my god, what did I do? Why am I so... I told myself half a year ago that I will not do anything for a year, and now I'm signing up for this. I'm a crazy woman. But I think it was because this aligns with my path, this aligns with my direction at the moment. And of course I can't do everything, but I want to do the things I truly deeply feel about, that this is the right thing for me, and that's what I'm doing. So this is a really long video and my battery is dying, but what I wanted to share with you basically is, yeah, okay, so this week I'm going to prepare for going to Bologna again, finishing my portfolio, finishing promotional pieces, yada yada, you know, that's what I said last week, but you will see that in next week's video. So before I end this video, I wanted to show you my this order that I just received, like a mini unboxing, and also a book I bought from the Little Prince shop, which was, I think, in Latin Quarter. Quartier Latin? Sorry, my dear French friends, I don't know. Actually, I studied French for 5 years in school, which is over 10 years ago, so please forgive me. I actually did refresh my French in Duolingo for a few, I don't know, quite 2 weeks ahead, I think. I started to refresh my French so I can speak at least a little bit, and people really appreciate it. So if you go to Paris, learn French, even if it's just merci and bonjour and au revoir. Seriously, people really are really happy. So this is one of my favorite books, The Little Prince. It has, I feel, shaped the way I see love, and I think there are so many there's so much wisdom in this book about life. And if you have read it and you have not felt anything, I would highly recommend read it later again, and I do believe you will find something, some truth in this book, because I wonder if when you read it too young, if you can really fully comprehend the depth of this book. And one of my favorite stories, or mini stories, in this book is about the fox and the taming of the fox. And I think this, I don't know, it's just moving. And yeah, I wanted to basically buy an heirloom, a family heirloom, and this is the English version of the Little Prince. I mean Le Petit Prince, I don't know, of Der kleine Prinz. I only had it in German actually. And this is the deluxe pop-up book, unabridged text. And I fell in love with this book. It wasn't cheap. I think in this shop it was 60 euros. Here on the back it says $35. So yes, you would think, oh my gosh, how could she spend 60 euros? But I do believe this was a work of love. Whoever did this, it is very beautifully made. I believe that my children, when they're a little bit older and older, to not pull away all the, pop-up elements and tabs, I do believe that they will enjoy this book, and I want to use it as a way to teach them about life, because I do think this book has so much to give, and it's one of my favorites. So yeah. And the final thing I do Oh my goodness, this video is long, isn't it? But you know, I realized I could probably get more views if I, you know, optimize my titles. I will just do one about Paris, one about the Cranes Club, and one about my unboxing of a Moo order. That's where I bought my cards from. But then I realized, let's be real, I don't have the time to make these videos, and when I edit them later, when I come back, I will just, it will be old content, and it's not just about that, is it? I want to have an honest relationship with you guys, so here it is, my order. So I ordered it from Moo. I have to say that with Moo, I actually thought I will never order from him again, ever, because I had a very bad experience with Moo in the past, with my greeting cards. And interestingly, none of my colleagues or anyone I ever met had bad experiences with them, which I found very interesting because I ordered greeting cards and had to complain 3 times in a row, and they always tried to reprint them and they were always full of smudges and scratches, and I was really disappointed. In the end, I had to wait 2 months to get my money back because of complications. And I learned a lot about customer service. Always talk to the same person, and don't stop talking to the same person until you solve the problem, because with anything in customer service, if you don't stay on the same person, you will always explain the same thing and they always let you wait. So trust me, it is valid for almost, I think for any customer service situation. Just a little tip. So yeah, so this is, I don't know, it feels like, I have a feeling it's the business cards, but maybe it's also the greeting cards. Maybe it's really both. So let's see. So why did I come back to Moo despite my really bad experience? Well, first of all, I'm not going to sell these products, materials. It's from a promotion. And if there's a small mini scratch, you know, I don't think it makes such a big difference. And the good thing about Moo is that they let you print small amounts and have a lot of different motifs, which I think for promotional materials, especially if you're like me and you can't choose, which is not good, I need to learn this. You can print many different materials, motifs on your postcards, for example. You can have, the back is the same, but the front could be 10 different images for 10 cards. So every single image could be different. Or something like that. It's called Printfinity. And I think for promotional materials that was just the best option. Oh my gosh. Ooh, this looks nice though. By the way, all of my colleagues and illustrators I know that used Moo have never said anything bad. I don't know why my experience was so terrible. And so I gave it another try. Okay, so the postcards. Woohoo! I wonder if this focuses, but I mean the packaging is very beautiful, seriously. I think, I hope I can refresh my Moo experience. With a Moo experience. Mew? New? No? Ooh. Okay, let's see. Pomona was like, oh no, it's the same thing again. There's scratches and smudges everywhere. Oh, this is just dirt. It's just, it comes off, it's just dust. Oh my gosh! Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's so strange, you know, when you see your illustrations on a postcard, it makes a big difference. I really hope this is alright. Oh gosh. Yes. Immediately I can tell you, oh my gosh, if I could probably complain again. Maybe I'm just really picky, but I want to sell really high quality, and all my cards in this pack, probably because of transport, are damaged on the side, on the edge, very lightly. It's just a little dent, but it's basically, as far as I can see, it's in almost every single card is slightly damaged. Gosh, I don't know, but you know what? Again, for promotional material, if it's something small like this, I think most people wouldn't even notice this, and they also don't pay for it, which I think is a bit different. Of course, I mean, I want to make a good impression, but I don't think that's so crucial. And the image quality, this is one of my older images, is good. Yeah, and the colors are nice as well. But it's just these small things, you know. I feel, okay, maybe it's not their fault, but I do think you could learn how to, you know, improve packaging, so transportation would be not a problem. So yeah, again, I don't think this for me just proves, of course, you know, this can always happen, but it happened again for me with moves. And yeah, there's a card. This card, for example, is so bent that it has a little, basically has a crease in the laminate. And I don't know, again, I think this is, seriously, this is all transport issues. And for me, this means that although the packaging looks nice, it doesn't actually protect. Which is interesting, because this is even a bubble wrap. Anyways, I don't want to moan. I'm generally grateful because it delivered quickly, and overall it's definitely cost effective for me. But again, it's just emphasizing the fact I'm not going to use them for my, if I ever sell postcards, because that's not acceptable. But for promotional materials, I'm really happy. They will serve their purpose, and I hope people can forgive me that they're slightly damaged, because this could have happened as well on the flight to Bologna, so I guess you can't protect yourself 100%. So now for the business card. So basically you get this little box, and these are my cards. Ta-da! I wish I would have had them for the Queen's Club, because actually I realized I gave this talk and no one now knows my website, no one knows my email address. People hopefully realize that I have a YouTube channel. Maybe they will never find me again. That was a mistake that I need to, yeah, deal with. Next time I'll bring my business cards. But this is one of my hamster illustrations, and the back is just my logo, which I designed a while ago, and my contact details. And I designed this all in InDesign, if you're interested. So yeah, that was it, I think, pretty much. All I have to do now is work a lot for my final major project, for my children's book, finish this portfolio, finish the packages for the publishers, book my tickets for Bologna, for the actual fair, and not go crazy and still enjoy life. Today is Nick's first day of work, by the way, for a new job, so I'm slightly nervous about that too, but yeah, that's life, and life is exciting. I think that's almost my new motto, like, enjoy life and life is exciting. Yeah, I wish you all the best. I hope you enjoyed this. I can understand, really long video, but again, I just want to share my journey with you. Yes, I'm tired as well from traveling, but no more excuses. I hope you have a really nice day. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos about illustration and about creative careers, and yeah, I hope to see you next time. Bye!